looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers. You know, I truly love Monaco. I do. I truly do love this track. It's where I got my start with FRL, and it's what brings me a lot of joy to watch. It's celebrated, what, 80 years of racing at Monaco, and F1 was celebrated this year. But it's a track that has a lot of history for me, a lot of history for the league, a lot of history for real life F1. And for today, at least, it is going to bring round 6. We've officially crossed the halfway point here in FRL. So welcome everybody to this round 6 here at a sunny Monaco, Monegasque. 19 turns, everybody knows them. If you try to call it a corner name, you're a driver. Or if you try to call it a quarter name, you're a fan. If you call it a corner number, you're a driver. And kudos to you if you do it. Let's go ahead and jump on track here. Let's look at some of the action coming up here for this round 6, and this is going to be Wally setting up here, and it's a nice pretty day here, unlike the real F1 race that happened earlier today, and of course the Indy 500 going on today. So lots of big action happening so far this weekend in real life motorsports, and I won't spoil what happened in well, my game's stuck. That's weird. Okay, well, technical difficulties for the best of them, but you know, that's how it goes. I won't spoil what happened with real life racing. Of course, if you watch the real Monaco Grand Prix, you already know. Lots of action, lots of chaos. Max Verstappen, 200th win. Well, I'm now spoiling it. Fernando Alonso with a wonderful P2. Weather was a part of it, and of course, as we know in FRL, weather plays a part in everything. Buchik just getting a little bit of a tire warm-up there on the exit, getting down the main straight as he heads towards Saint Devoux. And now, let's enjoy the action here as the drivers run around. Everybody's out on soft tires as it is qualifying, so everybody, of course, is going to be running on those soft tires trying to get things going, and we are going to just sit back and enjoy it all the way through. A lap around Monaco is one that, it's the crown jewel. Everyone knows this track. And to a degree, everyone knows it. That doesn't mean everyone's good at it. So what you see a lot of times is this is where you see the biggest difference in car performance and driver performance all the way through, because this track does make a difference for things. Of course, running solo today I am. Back how I got my start in FRL. Started out Season 3, Round 2 running solo. And, of course, Syntax, let's see, good laps going through so far. Anyways, as I was saying, Syntax, of course, having some personal things. You know, we all have personal things in life. I've missed a couple rounds this season for that same thing. Kenny is at the Indianapolis 500 this weekend. Syntax had some personal things and is not going to make it today. He had just some friend and family events, so nothing bad there. We all have real life things that happen, and sometimes, you know, you just got to fly the round solo. Syntax did it for me 2 weeks ago, and I am going to knock it out today. Now, as we enjoy watching the cars go around here, of course, 17 drivers here in the lobby. It was 20 cars signed up. It looks like as far as penalties being served today, it is, let's find it here, a 13 place grid penalty for Kashti, who is currently provisional pole, and a quali ban for Maku. So Maku will automatically start at the back of the grid. Which that is interesting. Of course, Maku already professing his turn 1 heroics that will be coming on Discord. If you're not part of the Discord, jump in and join as Graxit sets a provisional poll time with 13 minutes left to go here. And now as we watch here, Rolowski, and Rolowski, a household name here in FRL, and it is great to see him back on track. He is running as a reserve driver here for Alfa Romeo this weekend as he goes through the tunnel and he goes down towards this swimming pool chicane here. Sorry, it's the Novell chicane. I can't even name my corners right here today. What is up with that? Now we watch Rolowski as Rolowski comes through and continues to run around. Now he's at the swimming pool chicane. You can see he hits the ramp there, and he is purple middle sector, doing very good now. And as he comes out of Raskas here, down the main straight, DRS open for the front straight here, and Rolowski will run all the way down to the line. Rolowski puts himself good enough for P3 at the moment, half a second off of Graxit. I think that little bump of the sausage curb in the swimming pool kind of hurt him a little bit. Here is Mumamek, who is currently trying to put in a time. He's currently 2.5 seconds down on the leader Graxit. I think he's doing the second push lap here just to try to get a bit better of a time in, just based on how he's going. You can see just how sharp the chicane or the hairpin is there at the hotel. And now we run down through the tunnel again out of 48, down the tunnel towards Novell chicane. You can see just cut it very close there. A little bit of sausage curve used, cuts them a little bit wider. Not the tidiest swimming pool or Novell chicane that we've seen go through, but still a good chicane nonetheless. Then as we come through Raskas, into the pits goes Mumamek, and that is going to be his lap done there. So not improving any. Several drivers already back out on outlaps. We will jump on board here with John Meister, who's coming up towards Raskas, getting ready to start his next push lap. John Meister, Ignas, Wasserschwein, and Radislav Kepa have yet to put in times here. Oh, well, don't know why that happened, but okay. Now as we watch here as John Meister goes through, John Meister purple sector 1, some very, very good start out for his lap as he goes through now and comes around Portier, down through the tunnel here. And here we go, down the hill, brake real late, going into the Novell chicane. A little bit better use of the sausage curb there, a little bit cleaner of a chicane. And now as we go through swimming pool section, downshift just a little bit, and look just how fast I take this. And actually, this is going to be John Meister boarding out. He wasn't happy with how that went through. So John Meister invalidating his lap and aborting, and now he will reset, try to go on another push lap. His teammate Ignas is just now coming through the first sector, up through Mirabeau, up towards the hairpin. And Ignas is purple first sector as well. So drivers continuing to improve on their times as we go around, getting a little bit faster every time. We've got yellow flags out in sector 3. It looks like that is a bit of a moment there between... Oh! Mateusz spinning there, retiring out of the session through the tunnel as I was trying to see what was going on with the McLaren and the Red Bull down in the swimming pool chicane. You can see Debe's missing a front wing here. So something has happened between, I believe that is going to be Buchik, who is also missing a wing, and Debe coming together. I'm sure the stewards will investigate that after the race, but then also we saw Mateusz be taken out there as well. But I don't think Ignas had any contact with him. I think Ignas just happened to be coming through right as it happened. As we go down the main straight here, Ignas 1099, so even with a driver wrecking in front of him, Ignas is able to find more time, get himself up into that provisional pole position. Mateusz backing out of the session. Of course, if you're new to FRL, we do session restarts between quali and the race, so not a problem with him leaving. It doesn't mean he's rage quitting or anything. Probably just going to go relax, get a drink of water, and get ready for the race. Here we go, Bimolino Gaucho just now coming out of the pits. Raxon is coming down the main straight here. I believe he's getting ready to start start a lap as well here. Jump on board with Kashti. Watch Kashti as Kashti comes through, and that's a big clutter of cars all together right there, going down into Mirabeau out of Casino. And it looks like that was a case of everyone trying to stay out of someone's way. Monaco, of course, such a small track that traffic does become a big problem if you're not paying attention. And for that cluster there of, it looks like Kashti, Roloski, both Graxit and Baran, and then one of the Aston Martins, which I believe should be Mario's. Big clutter of cars together right there, and makes things very, very difficult. Kashti on a lap at the moment, 1.2 down, so I don't think this is going to be anything to write home about. It looks like he may just be finishing this to do a second push lap. Yellow flag's out third sector. It looks like that is for the slow runner there of Wasserschwein or Maverick. It's going through. Strip on board here. Graxit's into the pits. Maverick, sorry, is coming through. Swimming pool chicane now, and it looks like this should be an in lap for him, I believe, because he is fairly slow through. Bimolino Gaucho is currently coming through Casino down towards Mirabeau. Pretty tidy run through there. Now he's going to hit the hairpin. Again, still fairly tidy through. Here he goes through Portier, down through the tunnel. Down the hill, hard braking through swimming pool. Roloski retiring out of the session. He has spun up in Casino. We'll see if we can jump on board with whichever McLaren was just going past him. I'm not sure. Okay. Bimolino Gaucho was purple. So let's watch him as he comes through. Bimolino Gaucho is going to come across the line and be 111.0, 8 tenths up, but still 1 second back from Ignas. Ignas currently sitting on provisional pole. One of the Ferraris is coming out here, and it looks like that is going to be Graxit, who is making his way out of the pit lane. 6 minutes left to go. Plenty of time for drivers to continue to try to put in laps. Kushort, who is trying to put in a lap but invalidated, and Buchik, who's coming down the main straight now. Buchik will come across the line, put in a 111.0. It's good enough for P6, puts him up half a second. However, he is still a second back from Ignas. Baran going extremely slow through Raskas here, trying to set up, give himself a bit of space in front, and there is a AlphaTauri who is exiting the pits now, so hopefully that doesn't cause him any issues. It looks like he's well past him as he goes up through turn 1, through Saint-Deveau, up through Beau Rivage into Massenet. And now you hit the right-hander here of Casino. There's a Red Bull going extremely slow through the tunnel. 5 minutes left to go here in qualifying, and everybody is trying to give each other space and find space on the track for push laps. And now it looks like this is going to be the moment where there is a McLaren. I can't tell which one it is. And it looks like it is Debe missing a front wing, getting out of his way there. And now on Franek goes with no issues. Franek currently 2 seconds down in the Williams against Ignas, trying to find plenty of time here that he can as he goes down towards the swimming pool chicane. Very, very tidy swimming pool. Now he'll push through, hit the left-hander here. into the pool section. And now he cuts around. Frantic looking really, really good as he comes through Rascas. And Frantic with a 111. So putting himself up at a P12, not improving a lot. Of course, we've still got a lot of drivers out on push laps. There is Graxent, Baran. Kashti finds himself up at a P2 with a purple third sector. Graxent's going very, very slow, continuing to try to improve. There's a tire in the middle of the track. Don't think it's supposed to be there. And there we go. Baran around Graxent here. Graxent dropping back as he's invalidated his lap, busted his front wing. So he's allowing his teammate Baran the good run here to try to go. And I believe Baran just clattered the wall as well. Yep, Baran is missing a front wing there as he comes through out into the pool section. So both Ferraris straight into the pits here. Tazo's on an outlap. Buchik's on an outlap. Marios is on an outlap here. You can see Marios with a little bit of lag. That's kind of scary to see. Maverick's on an outlap. Frantic is currently on a in-lap, it looks like. And yes, he is in. Jumping to the back here. Wasserschwein, who is currently into the pits. John Meister, who is coming through and going down the main straight. He is significantly down. Has yet to put in a lap, though. And as he comes across the line, John Meister still not putting in a lap on my side. Now we come through. Mumamek is running through. It looks like Mumamek's on an end lap. Let's jump on board here with Tazo, who is currently on a push lap and coming across. It looks like he is going to be back just a bit from his time. 1:11.029. Looks like this should be him. This should be him starting his push lap, I believe. Of course, timing screens can get a little wild. It looks like there's a bit of a wall tap there from Buchik. Going into Mirabeau. A minute 50 left to go here in qualifying. So at this point, it is whatever the drivers have to bring together. Ignas out on a push lap here. 1:09 is the time he needs to beat. And as long as I think no traffic gets in his way, it is possible he could come down a little bit lower in time as we go through. He's got a car in front of him there. That is going to be an AlphaTauri. I believe that is going to be Maverick getting straight out of the way there. There goes Ignis. A little bit of a slide there as he heads down into Portier, but able to keep it together. Yellow flag, Sector 1. That is going to be for an Aston Martin, I believe, of Marios. And now a couple drivers retiring from the session. Buchik, Mateusz, Berlowski, John Meister, all retiring out. I do believe John Meister's was due to a wreck here. Now as we go, last 60 seconds of qualifying here for drivers to hold it together. Bimlino Gaucho currently sitting P3, Graxent in P4. Okay, that's not Graxent. That's Graxent. There we go. Game glitched a little bit. That was weird. So Ferrari leaving it all on the line here at the last moments. Just a little bit left to go. And now as we see Graxent coming across the line here to start his final push lap with Baran right in front of him. What does Ferrari have to do to answer to Ignis? And can they break the Monaco curse here? Which one of them is Carlos Sainz? Which one of them is Charles Leclerc? And can either of them drive like Max Verstappen? We are finding out here. Checkered flag has fallen. Ignis locked in at that 1:09.9. Mumamek is locked in P15 at the moment. Kashti P2, Bimlino Gaucho P3. However, laps are still being put in here as we go through. Coming across the line, Kushort will lock himself into P10. There's a Haas coming across the line. Mumamek locked in, of course, there at that P15. Now as we watch through the swimming pool chicane, there's a spin in the back. That was, I believe, Kashti. who is spun back in the swimming pool chicane. So he is going to be through. Graxon's purple middle sector, though. Graxon might have a bit to answer for it here as Graxon comes through, and he comes in the final corner there into Larascas. He spins. He throws away that purple sector. Cannot hold on to it. Baran comes across the line, P5. Graxon will lock in P4. Bimolino Gaucho, P3. Cashty, who spun in the swimming pool chicane, locks it in P2. And now that is all of our drivers except for Debe through. Debe, of course, invalidating his lap as well. So that is going to be our qualifying session over. And Graxon, what could have been if he had held that lap together, but the Monaco curse strikes the boys in red yet again, and it sets it up here where we have to get ready for a race where overtaking is difficult but not impossible. Anything can happen, and if there's even a drop of rain, then it's a bad time for everyone involved. Ignas, Cashty, Bimolino, Graxon will be your front two rows. Baran to Tazo, P5, P6, Marios, Buchik, Wasserschwein, Rolowski, sitting himself, starting in the points there in the Alfa Romeo. Kushor to Maverick, Mateusz, Radislav Kepa, Franek, Mumamek, David, John Meister. Those are the 18 drivers. We will, of course, have Maku joining us in P19. And everybody just stick around for a few, and we will be right back with the race. So as we currently sit here, Ignas is in the lead for the Drivers' Championship. Graxon's P2. So those two drivers together should make things very, very interesting. Only one way to find out who can finish where, though. 5 red lights, and we are underway here with Ignas in P1, Bimolino P2, Graxon P3. Graxon's already up a place here, and now you have Baran trying to battle his way up a place as well. Bimolino Gaucho getting absolutely bullied in the background here. It's absolute chaos as they come through turn 1. And now as we run up the hill here through Beau Rivage down to the Massenet and we go around, we'll look at tires and strategies here in just a minute. We just need to survive the beginning of the race here. Now we go through, look at Mario's battling through. Tazo's trying to have a bit of a look on Bimolino there. Buchik a little bit wide, and now who's that in the background? That is Rolowski and Kushor. And now look at that, Rolowski diving down the inside of the hairpin against Wasserschwein, not able to hold on to it though. So Rolowski having to settle back. Side by side go Kushor and Cashty. Now as we head through Portier into the tunnel, and Kushor having to back out of it here, and looks like Kushor may lose another place here to Maverick, and he does indeed. Kushor now down in the P12, and these drivers are battling very competitively very early on. 39 laps of action here, and now it looks like that is going to be Maku who has to skip out on the chicane there. Maku up into P13 after starting in last place. His teammate Umuek down into P15, so Haas not having the best of times here at Monaco. Debe is currently in P15, and as we see here, a little bit of a battle there between Umek and someone else. Now we have drivers out. There's a lot of chaos there. Out of the corner exit onto the main straight, and Bimolino Gaucho is our first retirement here. Let's get a track map going. Bimolino Gaucho being our first retirement. You can see the back of the field is where a lot of the action is happening here. You can see John Meister battling against Mumamek here. And now John Meister up into P14, Mumamek into P15. 5-second time penalty for, I believe that was for Mumamek for ignoring yellow flags, but it doesn't matter because Mumamek is out as well, coming through Casino out of Massenet. And now it is going to be virtual safety car. As we check in on our race leader, who has a 2.2 second lead on Graxon here. P1, P2 in the point standings, P1, P2 on the track. Very, very competitive all the way through for them. Baran is in P3. And you can see all of the other drivers are very, very grouped up. Cashty retiring out of the session. Looks like Cashty having an error there through the Novell chicane, but it doesn't matter because we're back to green flag racing already. No safety car there, but VSC came out for lap 2 of 39. DRS now enabled. Cashty's out of the session, and we've lost 3 drivers before 2 laps. Oh, Monaco, you never failed to disappoint me. And now, as we watch here, Tazo trying to hold up Buchik a little bit here and get a bit of a run as they go up the hill here and come through Casino and down into Mirabeau. You can see Tazo just trying to hold on to a bit of a lead here. Let's look at tire strategies, because tire strategies are going to be what mix things up. Of course, big loser so far is Kushor. Everybody else has gained places. Maku's up 9 places up to P10, but I'm curious to see how he got so far so fast. in a track that's so difficult to pass, how Maku was able to gain 10 places out of nowhere. But as we continue to watch here and go through, we're on lap 3 and looking at tire strategy. Top 3 are on mediums, a bunch of hard tires, Frantic's on the medium tires, and of course Mateusz is a soft tire runner, picking the alternate, somewhat crazy strategy, but we'll see if he can make it work for him as we run these laps down. And of course, one-stop race is the preferred strategy through here. So we will just have to watch and kind of continue to monitor and see how the drivers do through. But continuing to keep our eyes on battles here. It looks like Roloski getting around the inside of Wasserschwein there into turn 1, giving the position back, and that is going to open things up for Maverick to try to have a run as well on Roloski. But it looks like, from what I can tell, Maverick is not going to be able to get the pass done here. Maverick, of course, has Maku for company now as well. You can see Maku just absolutely trying to fly through. Bit of a bumper car run here for them as they head down into the hotel hairpin. And now as they come out of Portier, still a bit of bumper cars going on, but nothing too crazy. Of course, Roloski there. Everyone still has their front wing. Nobody has rear wing damage either, so kind of holding on. Roloski trying a bit of a run there, having to back out of it on Wasserschwein, and you can see just the concertina effect of one car being slower and holding everyone up. Wasserschwein is currently the cork in the bottle there in P7, and it is going to be up to Roloski to open that up and try to get a run on. Because at the moment, Wasserschwein has Roloski backed up 8 seconds to Marios into those leaders there in the front. And Mateusz now into the pits. 3 laps on the soft tires, and he is calling it. He is saying that is not the decision, the way to go. And of course, here we go again now as we head up through Mirabeau to Casino. And now we'll have through Massenet into Casino. Now we're going down towards Mirabeau. You can see Maku thinking about a bit of a dive there around Maverick. He's still kind of thinking about it. Thinking about a cheeky little move there through the inside, maybe the outside, and just not close enough to make anything happen at the moment. And now as we go down through Portier, he's holding on to it here. This big pack battle here in mid-pack, this is the battle to watch at the moment. Of course, Marios and Vucic just a couple tenths off of each other as well, but that is, they've kind of settled in back there. Half a second the gap. It's not really fluctuating, and they're kind of holding on. But this group right here, you can see the speed difference between Roloski and Wasserschwein is quite impressive here. You can see Roloski, every chance he gets, trying to find a way to put his nose in and get the pass done, but he's just not able to make something stick. Wasserschwein making that AlphaTauri as wide as it is long and just setting himself up in the right places. Here we go, Roloski, a bit more speed, still not close enough. Wasserschwein has a big error there going into turn 1, has to back out of it there or else he would have hit the barrier, and now he's through. Maku's going to get through on Maverick as a result of that because Maverick had to back out. And now Maku's up into P9. He's going to try to battle his way up into P8. Very, very good drive from Maku so far today to get so many positions so early on. Radislav Kepa picking up a 3-second time penalty, and it says for multiple warnings. I can only guess that that's for corner cutting, which is very... There's only a couple of places to do that here at Monaco. One of them is, of course, the Novelle chicane here where the drivers are pulling into. And then the other one is going through the hairpin and out of Portier. Maku here, less than a tenth back from Wasserschwein, trying everything he can to try to get a pass done. Wasserschwein also picking up that 3-second penalty. I'm going to guess that is for corner cutting. Wasserschwein losing the rear end. You can see the concertina effect that has. That gets John Meister collected up with someone there, and now it is just bumper cars galore into the pits. Maverick down into P15. Frantic into the pits. Radislav Kepa into the pits. Wasserschwein surprisingly not into the pits, even though Wasserschwein is missing a front wing here, just kind of holding on. And that was a weird moment we just saw there out of the exit of, wow, I'm forgetting my corner names. Out of the exit of Rascas. There we go. And now Wasserschwein will continue to be the cork in the bottle here. He is already 8.5 seconds back on Roloski. And Roloski is still 12 seconds back on Marios. And he'll continue to be the cork in the bottle here as we hang on and watch. And it's just a matter of who can get past him how. Ignas pumps in a fastest lap of the Grand Prix out at the front of the field. Nearly half a lap difference between this pack and our leader. So Ignas already putting in great time here, lap 8 with 39. Now we can see a bit of a moment there. That was Matthew sliding a little bit. He's got both McLarens of Kushor and Debe right beside him, kind of holding on. And then John Meister as well is right in the mix. And now as we go through again, Wasserschwein's still not opting to go into the pits for a new front wing. He's trying to hold on the best he can. You can see Maku getting very aggressive here. Maku snapping the rear end there, and there he is. Contact with Kushor. Kushor loses front wing, and there it is. Kushor wrecks out. And I can't tell if that was due to contact with Maku or what that was. But Kushor now dropping back more places from fairly competitive driving there coming in from Maku. Maku now dropping back down into P11 after a battle there with Debe and John Meister. John Meister, Debe side by side. Maku on the inside, John Meister on the outside. Oh, just enough room for the two of them to squeeze through the hairpin. And now as they head down into Portier, you can see Maku really trying with John Meister to get this pass done. And as they head down through the tunnel, it is going to be John Meister ahead. Maku, though, look at this. Literally no space left. He's going to brake late. Try to put a front nose there. Wheel-to-wheel contact there. Spins John Meister a little bit. And now Maku has to back out of it. Kushort still down in P12, missing a front wing. P13 is Maverick, who is just kind of watching all this happen and just wanting to try to get a place or a pass done. Now we've got Kushor coming into the pits here. Check up with our leaders up front. Leaders up front running a very comfortable race. Graxit is a little bit slower than Ignas. He's losing a few tenths each lap. His teammate Baran right behind him there in P3. They're just kind of holding on. Again, checking in with this battle between Buchik and Marios here in P5 and P6. You can see here, they're just kind of cruising as well. Buchik 5 seconds behind Tazo. Marios 1 second back on Buchik. And of course, the thing with Monaco is you kind of go, they talked about it in the F1 broadcast today. I believe it was Schumacher who said it. You go into a bit of a trance as you just kind of drive through. Maku now retiring out of the session. We'll see what happened to him here in the Novell chicane. Just going straight on into the barrier. So Maku is out of this race. And now we kind of watch through Debe and John Meister flipping positions here. Debe into P10, John Meister in P9, trying to chase down Wasserschwein. Wasserschwein P8, Wasserschwein still out there with no front wing, just kind of cruising through, and he is losing so much time. 21 seconds now, the gap between Wasserschwein and Roloski. He is holding people up by multiple seconds a lap. But that is the issue with Monaco, is it's very hard to get past someone. So not exactly the easiest thing to do is squeeze by a car, especially when it's slower, has front end damage, and moments like that are happening, which of course Wasserschwein, or John Meister goes into the barrier as well, following Wasserschwein through, and they both clatter the barrier there on the outside of the hotel hairpin. And then Debe is now going to be right in the mix here. Kenny tried to squeeze past John Meister going down into the Novell chicane. He thinks better of it, stays back a bit, and just kind of cruises through. No safety cars yet today, thankfully. And now, as we watch here, Debe under pressure by Mateusz. Debe letting Mateusz through with no issues and just kind of cruising through. Now Debe is going to be into the pits, as I think he is missing a front wing, so he is going to go in. And now we check out with John Meister and Wasserschwein again. Wasserschwein a bit of time back on Marios there. He's got 6.5 seconds to Marios, but Marios is 19 back from Rolowski. So now it's just a matter of going through. You can see Wasserschwein running very wide. John Meister side by side there with him as they run down towards Mirabeau. And it looks like John Meister out-braking himself there. Mateusz squeezes through, and now Wasserschwein still in P8. Wasserschwein is going to have Mateusz and John Meister both pushing him through. Maverick is about 1.7 back. You can see him just off the back edge of your screen there. And he is trying his best to try to get into the fray as well. Driver's very, very spread out, very, very relaxed here. But, of course, this battle here in the midfield is the closest battle we have right now. And this is going to be our battle for P8. And it's been a damage-stricken Wasserschwein with no front wing that's just kind of been holding up everyone behind him there. That's been kind of pushing, but unfortunately they've not been able to really make a move stick. Not necessarily to anyone's fault, just that is the difficulty with Monaco, is it can be very, very hard to make a move stick there. You can see Mateusz lighting up the rear tires there, doing some rally-style drifting through as he looks to try to get this move done on Wasserschwein. And now as they're side-by-side going into Saint-Deveau, and Wasserschwein runs it a little wide there. Mateusz cannot hold on to it on the outside. Has to back out of it, otherwise he would have been in the barrier. And Wasserschwein continues to hold P8. But look at that, in one lap, he's lost over 2 seconds to Marios. And now as we continue to watch this battle here, Marios' pit, Mateusz's pit, Radislav Kepa, Frantic, Kushor, Debe, and John Meister have pit. None of our leaders have pit yet, but the gap between Ignas and Graxit is continuing to slowly open up. The gap's now 6.2, and a little bit more is being found every lap by Ignas against Graxit. That's a wreck there, and that is going to be Wasserschwein out. That damage-stricken AlphaTauri. He's been trying so hard to hold on to it. Wasn't able to. It looked like there was some contact there with Mateusz, but I don't think that was... I think that was just like an effect of a car spinning in front of you. I don't think Mateusz was the direct reason that he spun there. And again, no safety car from the FIA. We're lap 13 of 39. No safety cars yet, but 5 retirements. Which is very, very confusing. Just checking to see if there's any chatter about penalties or decisions or anything, and it doesn't look like anything too controversial is being said right now for different things. And now as we go through, we watch here, our biggest battle is now between Mateusz and Maverick, which is just over a second the gap as they now try to set out and close the gap down that had opened up while Wasserschwein was in front of them there for a while. You can see 19 or 20 seconds between Mateusz and Marios, and then 16 seconds between Marios and Rolowski. Everybody at the front of the grid is opened up by several seconds between each. The shortest gap in the top 10 is, other than this battle here, is 3 seconds between Tazo and Baran. I almost wonder if the admin didn't accidentally leave safety cars off today or something, because this, as we get near, we come up towards the halfway point, is very, very shocking. There's been no safety cars. Baran into the pit lane here on the medium tires. He is going to come off the mediums, go onto the hards. It's a front wing change here at Ferrari as well. Plenty of time left to give here for them to do so. And now as Baran goes to exit the pits, Rolowski is going to come by. Into P5, is Marios going to be even remotely close, though? That's what I wonder, because 30 seconds was the gap between them, and now as they exit through, 30 seconds remains the gap between them. 17, 13, 11, 7, 6. The gap hits 6 seconds between Baran and Mario. It's nowhere near enough for there to be any concern. And 10 seconds is the gap between Baran and Roloski. Now as a cruise through lap 15 of 39. And continuing to just kind of watch here, different things happening. Radislav Kepa half a second back on Maverick here, trying to chase down Maverick and get a pass done. Is he going to be close enough to try to launch anything into the swimming pool chicane? He's not close enough for it, even though he really, really wants to be. Radislav Kepa closing the gap just a little bit against Maverick. Still not close enough for a pass. And it looks like Maverick actually with a bit of an error there going through Saint Devote. And now as they run up the hill here, you can see a bit of a run there from Radislav Kepa. They're both into the barrier. That kind of goes through. Oh! Okay. A lot of lag there that just spiked, but Radislav Kepa now down into P12 as they came through Casino into Mirabeau. As it looks like they kind of collected each other into Massenet, and then Radislav Kepa came out worse for wear into the wall. I don't think there's any damage on Maverick or Frantic or Mateusz or anyone. That was very, very weird. Now as we jump back here, Radislav Kepa down into P14. John Meister, Debe battling it out here, P12, P13. Mateusz is now into the pits. You see a front wing change there for the Alpine, and Radislav Kepa into the pits as well. Radislav Kepa in the Aston Martin, and one of our race leaders, Ignas, into the pits as well. Ignas coming out onto a fresh set of hard tires. Radislav Kepa with a wing change onto medium tires here. Medium tires should carry him to the end of the race, I believe. And with Ignis pitting into P3, that puts Graxit in the lead of the Grand Prix. You can see Graxit catching up to a lot of traffic here, so he's going to be faced with the decision, does he go ahead and box here and not run through this traffic, or does he try to fight through and hope that Ignis gets held up a bit? At the moment, he would come out in P4 behind Buchik. And Graxit making the smart decision here. Going into the pits, the leaders kind of jockeying around a bit here for positions. Holding on to each other here and onto a fresh set of hard tires. No wing change or anything, so Graxit just straight in and out. Very, very clean pit stop. Tazo comes through at the moment. Ignis will come through as well. But the big question is, does Graxit come out ahead of Buchik? As it appears here, Graxit's going to come down the pit lane. There goes Buchik through. And no, Graxit will not get ahead of Buchik, but only just not get ahead of Buchik. And now Graxit has Roloski right on the rear wing there. Is Roloski going to get through as well? And add a bit of insult to injury, and it looks like Roloski is going to be through. Graxit's going to know better than to fight that. However, that is detrimental to Graxon's attempt to get around and past Ignis. Bringing him back with the midfield here. Again, this battle, Maverick, Frantic, Kushor, Debe. Big battles through. Of course, looking at the race right now, pretty much everyone has gained positions as a lot of the drivers near the front have wrecked out. Bimblino Gaucho being the big driver that lost positions. Debe, Johnmeister both up 6 places. Roloski's up 5 places. Frantic's up 5 places. And Tazo is up 4 places to be in the lead. But of course, they still need to stop. Tazo, Buchik, and Roloski. So can't count too much into that. As we watch through lap 20 of 39 going around now, we're riding on board here with Maverick. Maverick, who needs to defend behind him as hard as he can, as he has Frantic, Kushor, and Debe, and now Johnmeister, all very, very close in the mix here. You see just how close they all are as we run through the tunnel and kind of hang on. Everybody within about half a second of the other. Johnmeister, of course, only a couple of tenths back on Debe, trying to make that pass done and now as they run through the Novell chicane into the swimming pool section. Left-hander there. Johnmeister is able to kind of force his way through. Johnmeister now up into P11, Debe into P12 still as we run through. Roloski and Graxon, a very, very close battle as well. Ignis looking very, very close to Tazo. Of course, those battles don't count for too much except for the one between Buchik and Roloski, as Buchik, Roloski, and Tazo all still need to pit. Now as we run through here, Kushor able to fight a move through, up in for P9. Frantic P10 here. He's under pressure though by Johnmeister. Johnmeister able to squeeze his way through. Johnmeister to P10. Debe still in P12, trying to look around the outside here of Casino. And Debe wrecking big there in Casino, just losing the rear end, it looks like, out of Massenet. And now Debe having to do a lot of back and forth here to try to spin that car around. And Debe all the way down into P13 now. Radislav Kepa is still very, very far back, but that is going to cost Debe a lot in this race, and possibly, depending on how long it takes him to get back around, reserve him into last place. Watch Johnmeister here as Johnmeister thinks about a dive down into the Novell chicane, decides against it, however he really wanted to. And those, ladies and gentlemen, are our race leaders coming through to give you an idea of how long this race is and how insane the pace difference is. That is the race leaders that are coming through, and the drivers are diving out of the way. So if we look at the gap here, all the way up through P8 has now officially been lapped, with Johnmeister being the first car lap down. And it should not be long before Marios is lapped as well. An absolutely dominating performance from those front 5 drivers, especially for as close as they are together. And Roloski is going to be out of the race here. It looks like there's a bit of contact there between Roloski and, was that Graxon? Yes, on the run up the hill through Beau Rivage. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be enough for the FIA to call a safety car. So, all of these gaps will come back down. Everybody will pit for some sort of a tire here, and things will mix up immensely. I don't know what happened between Roloski and Graxon, but that is going to be huge implications for this race, and everything has opened right up for the race. as drivers kind of run through the pits, this actually has major implications for the race here. Grax at P5 here is going to be on mediums. Ignas is in the lead and now completely secured in his lead with a fresh set of not fresh softs, but slightly worn in hards. Tazo's on new mediums, Buchik's in mediums, Baran's in new mediums, and Graxit, who was in line for P2 because the others hadn't pit, is now all of a sudden finding himself in P5, and this is the actual position. Marios is through. John Meister is currently P7. I don't think John Meister is going to pit, though. Just look behind him right there. Kushor, Mateusz. Kushor on 13 lap old mediums. John Meister on 10 lap old medium tires. Of course, we're on lap 22 of 39, so these tires have to last quite a while here. Frantic coming through P10, then Radislav Kepa, Maverick, Debe. 13 drivers left on the track. We started with 19. And now we'll just kind of ride on board here for just a minute behind the safety car as we wait to see things come through. Kind of looking a bit more into the point standings at the moment and where the points land, how they lie, where things are. This would be Ignas's 4th podium and 2nd win if he can hold on to it here. Would be a very, very important thing for Tazo to get and secure, or for Ignas to get and secure. Tazo, of course, in P2 here, could be in a very, very good position as well for a win. Still waiting on the drivers to catch up, and then I believe lap cars need to be sent around at that point. I'm just kind of looking at things and trying to think how this can play out, because you have Ignas on hard tires, everyone behind him is on brand new mediums down through Mario. So really here on the restart is going to be very, very important for all of these drivers, especially if you're Baran or Graxit. You're really going to have to be aggressive early on to try to get this pass done and try to get through. What a drive, though, from these top 5 cars. It's been very, very impressive. Safety car is in this lap, which means Ignas will have control of the field. Tazo is behind a few lap cars, which is quite a good thing if you are Ignas. And then, of course, Buchik is behind even more lap cars between them. Buchik is near the back of this field. Ignas is in the front, so very, very good thing for them. However, it does mean a lot of chaos with blue flags early on. And look at the team game being played here by Ignas and John Meister. John Meister holding back the field a lot, and Ignas just takes off. 5-second gap between these two right off the bat. And then Tazo is just going to have to play a game of catch-up here. Buchik, Baran, and then Grax at 1.7 back from his teammate Baran near the tail end of this field, with Marios there in P6 behind his teammate as well. Graxit with a big snap of oversteer there as we head down into Mirabeau. Able to hold on to it there. Graxit does lose his position though. Goes down into P5. Baran P4. Buchik P3 still. Tazo P2 and 4.2 seconds back from Ignas, who's in P1, with his teammate who's technically in P7. Really playing the game. Of course, John Meister losing out big time here because of that. Because of everything, he's technically over a minute back from Graxit, so controversial thing. Not a lot of chance for John Meister to move up any higher than P7. Big mix-up here between Frantic, Maverick, Debe, Radislav Kepa, and Kushor, as Kushor is into the pits here. Kushor replacing the front wing here. Maverick now picking up a 3-second time penalty, it says, for multiple warnings. And as we run through here, lap 27 of 39, 12 laps to go here. Tazo 4.5 seconds back from his teammate Ignas. Ignas, of course, using his teammate John Meister very much to his advantage. Baran directly behind Buchik here by just under a second here as we go through the swimming pool chicane. Baran is trying to battle for a podium place here. Trying to get his way through, see what he can do. DRS now enabled after the safety car. 11 laps to go here in this, what's been a very long, exciting, eventful Monaco Grand Prix. Debe with a big spin out of the final quarter, now trying to get things going, and that is going to cost him pretty significantly. McLaren not having the weekend they want. And now sitting back near the back here, Baran trying to battle as hard as he can against Buchik. You see the gap here, just 0.2 of a second. It drops back a little bit here as they head through Mirabeau down into the hotel hairpin. And now as we run through the tunnel here and down, Baran still trying to gain on Buchik little by little every time. But evenly matched tires, it is going to be just kind of a difference at this point of skill. Both drivers are extremely skilled, and of course cars are evenly matched, so not a lot of difference there to try to give Baran an advantage against Buchik, unless Buchik makes some sort of an error. Of course, Buchik is picking up DRS with the help of, I believe that is Mateusz, the lap car that he is going through right then. Of course, the 1 DRS zone in Monaco is kind of interesting when you look at it. It's a very weird thing to be on this style of track. But it works out, it helps out a little bit, and if you are Buchik, you are very thankful that the DRS exists. And Baran is just almost a second back from Buchik here as we go through 10 laps to go at this point. You can see the blue flags being displayed there for Mateusz, who is currently splitting Baran and Buchik. As he comes through, he's going to continue to see blue flags and the blue screens flashing, and that does mean yield to faster cars. Now, of course, here in FRL, the cars goes through, so you're not obligated to move over, but it's one of those things that, like, if the car behind you runs through you, it's not a problem because your car model is going to ghost out. Maverick and Radislav Kepa having a battle there, and the gap extremely close, and I think Maverick and Radislav Kepa may have had a little bit of contact there going into St. Devoux. Now you can see position swapping back there between Radislav Kepa and Maverick heading down into Mirabeau. So I do think there was some contact into St. Devoux, and then Maverick doing the right thing, giving the position back. Gives the stewards a little less work to do later on. Baran has made his way past Mateusz and is half a second back at the moment from Buchik as we head down towards the swimming pool section. And he's trying his best to try to catch up here. Not able to at the moment, but he's really, really trying. Now as they head out of Raskas here down the main straight, DRS is going to be open here, and Baran giving it his all here with 7 laps to go. Trying to find his way up towards the front here. Ignas still 3.3 seconds ahead of Tazo here. Just kind of cruising his way through. Ignas just trying to have a solid, clean race, not do anything too crazy. Ignas is, of course, nursing a 3-second time penalty as well, so he has to keep Tazo outside of that 3-second gap. At the moment, Tazo sits 3.1 back, so Tazo right in that range where he could find himself lucky to get himself on the top step of the podium due to penalties. Debe sitting in P12, just put in the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Won't earn him any extra points, however, it will keep the fastest lap out of the top 10. Bit of a slide there again for Mateusz in the background there as he rides right behind Baran there. Baran trying to catch Buchik still. This is our closest on-track battle at the moment, with the gap just 0.3 of a second, and then from Buchik up to Tazo is 10.3. So lots of time left here in this race, lots of gaps left, and I'm sure a lot of these drivers are hoping for another safety car to kind of close things up a bit. If the race were to finish like it is right now, Ignas would expand his 14-point lead over Gragson by a pretty significant margin, which would definitely help Ignas and Mercedes in their chase for the Drivers' Championship, and it would also help them in the Constructors' Championship as well. They currently hold a 28-point gap over Ferrari. Mercedes versus Ferrari like it's the good days of F1. That would help them open up that gap as well, even though it looks like at the moment it is going to be very, very beneficial for them for the finish point. Ferrari will come a little bit closer in the Constructors, but in the Drivers' Championship, Ignas will expand out his lead. Baran now 1.2 seconds back on Buchik as that gap continues to open up. Lap 33 to 39 here, and these 13 drivers have settled down quite significantly here to just try to make it to the end of the race here. Checking in with Ignas, who is currently going through the tunnel. And Ignas is just kind of cruising through. But is that a little bit of rain that I see? DRS disabled. And it is a bit of rain here at the dying stages of this Grand Prix. Art imitates life. And now as we go through, Maverick will be the first driver to opt out onto a set of intermediates. You can see it's raining pretty steadily on the main straight here. Kind of how it did in real life today. It started raining through Casino and the Hairpin. In Mirabeau, and then it slowly spread to the rest of the track. Our race leader is in. Tazo in P2 is going to be in as well, and they are both going to intermediates. Buchik here is coming around. Is Buchik going to be into the pits? Buchik stays out another lap. Baran stays out another lap. Gragson is currently going through. Gragson struggling a bit through the swimming pool section. And now things heat up. As Graxit goes through. Battle here between Baran and Ignas. Baran staying out on mediums. Ignas there on the intermediates. Is there going to be enough there for them to give anything? Is it going to be any bit too dangerous for Baran to try to keep pace? Gap already a second as they exit. They head up Beau Rivage and now down into Mirabeau already. You can see Ignas just flying away there. Ignas already catching up to the back of Buchik here. Rain lights are on. Rain has came very heavy, very fast here over the mountains. And now it's just a matter of, can Ignas get past Buchik without trouble? And it looks like it almost was a no there, as there was a bit of a drift between the two. Tazo now past Baran. And of course, as they're in the tunnel, Baran maybe having a little bit of room. Look at the spray coming off of the cars, though. And now, as we're on lap 34 of 39, Buchik now picks up a penalty for corner cutting. Baran's through. Graxit, his teammate of Baran, is on intermediates, but he is just now going through the hairpin. They're nearly half a lap back. So while this does mix things up a lot, it does not completely shake things up. Tazo on Buchik there. Tazo through against Buchik. And now Buchik straight into the pits. Now Baran will come around straight into the pits as well. And of course, both drivers opting for the intermediates. Will we see any drivers have to opt in for wet tires? I don't believe so. And can Graxit make up enough time here to catch up on Baran? It looks like Graxit's just now coming through the swimming pool chicane, while Baran is exiting the pits. So as we come through Rascasse, Baran already up through Saint Devote, so no, Graxit will not gain any time from this. And in fact, this kind of just cements the positions of the leaders here with 21 seconds, the gap between Buchik and Tazo. Tazo 4 seconds back on Ignas, and this kind of just settles everything into place here. It does give us the chance for a good battle between Marios and Graxit here as we hit the dying stages. Lap 35 of 39. Now we go through. Debe still showing on soft tires in the pits at the moment, now coming out onto a set of intermediates. He will lose pretty significant time through. Now as we watch here, Mario's getting phased through by, I believe that was Mateusz. Mateusz, of course, a lap down compared to Marios. And I think that was Marios just straight into the barrier out of swimming pools. And no, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just a little bit of lag there affecting me. But it looks like he's still back going and good. Lap 36 of 39. And it looks like the rain has already stopped. Or it is extremely light here as we ride on board with Buchik. But still, enough for intermediate tires. Nobody on a dry tire at all. And as we run through here, lap 36 of 39. Going down towards Portier through. Ignas continuing to secure his lead with 4.4 seconds the gap between Ignas and Tazo. Ignas just stellar performances all season long. Of course, Ignas also holding the Drivers' Championship while missing the first round of the Grand Prix, or first round of the season in Australia. Graxit DNFing in Netherlands, and Jack not starting in Italy or here. The only there's only a couple of drivers that have ran all of the races this season. One of them is, of course, Ignas' teammate John Meister, and the other one being Radislav Kepa with Aston Martin. Everybody else has missed at least one race, or not finished at least one race this season. So when you take that into consideration, that he didn't even run the first race of the season, this is a stellar performance from Ignas to find himself in the lead of the Drivers' Championship. course, as we run lap 37 of 39 here, Tazo coming around Raskas down towards the main straight here. And while he is doing that, to give you an idea of the space difference, Buchik is just now hitting swimming pools as Tazo is through Saint Devote. So very, very large gaps here in the front of the field. I can't imagine a lot's going to change here. Graxit dealing with a bit of lap traffic here in P5, and that is going to be, I believe, Mateusz and Franek in front of him that he is having to contend with here. Running in P5, it's been a very, very strong race from Graxit all the way through, though. Very, very, very good run from him to hold on to P5 here, but unfortunately, Ferrari curses being Ferrari curses, Monaco is not the track that a Ferrari driver likes. 0.8 of a second to gap back to Marios. Marios just playing it very, very consistent, very, very cool. And only these 6 drivers are the only cars that you have on the lead lap here. Everyone from 7th place back is at least a lap back. Mateusz currently battling out with Franek there. And of course, they do have Graxit and Marios battling right behind him. So this 4-way battle is technically 2 battles for position. Just one of them is a lap down from the other. And as we see here, and Graxit trying to contend here a bit with Mateusz and go through. That can be a challenge for a driver to have that car phasing through. It can make it hard to see your braking point, hard to see your apex, and it can make it confusing. We have seen drivers wreck in the past from situations like that. Buchik picking up a 3-second time penalty, and keep in mind, Tazo is 3.2 seconds back here from Ignas, and Tazo just needs to find 2/10 this lap, and Tazo could find himself at the top step of the podium if there's an error from Ignas. For a second there, it went under 3 seconds, so this is all for the money at the moment. This is the big battle here. Mateusz and Franek finally finding a fight against each other here as they go through, and now it is going to be Franek on Mateusz, Mateusz on Franek, up the inside, through the outside there, and Mateusz down into P9, Franek P8 here, and that lets Marios and Graxit get past him as well, so they're battling through. Let's check in on this battle here in the front. Under 3 seconds now, the gap between Tazo and Ignas, and all Tazo needs to do is keep that gap under 3 seconds, even if it's 2.999. But he loses about 3/10 through the swimming pool section here. And if Ignas has any sort of an error, that could close back up. 2.998 the gap now. 3.0, 3.0. Ignas is going to come across the line here. And on track, he is going to be your winner. But the gap is under 3 seconds here. And that puts Tazo in the win. Ignas, for such a dominating performance, having to fight penalties and drop himself back here. So Tazo will come across and win the Monaco Grand Prix here in Season 8 of FRL. And now as we watch Buchik come across the line here and come through Raskas, and he has Baran behind him. Of course, he's nursing penalties as well. So Buchik will come across P3. Maverick retiring out of the session, spinning, it looks like going into the tunnel. Very, very unfortunate from him. Baran will flip through with Buchik for P3, P4. Graxit will come across the line P5 here. And ladies and gentlemen, that will be pretty much the end of your Monaco Grand Prix here. We just have to wait on Radislav Kepa, who is currently sitting P10, to come across. But Tazo able to find the top step of the podium after a fight with Ignas. It was very, very long, and unfortunately for Ignas, the difference was it says 3.030. John Meister, driver of the day. Very, very well deserved. As we look, Tazo, Ignas had 6 seconds of penalties he was nursing, not 3. That's my fault. And then Baran, of course, able to fight against Buchik there. Buchik with 6 seconds of penalties going through. So Ignas losing out on that top step of the podium. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is your Monaco Grand Prix. Stick with us for just a second here as we round up the drivers for our post-race interviews. All right, let's hit these interviews, and we are going to start first with Baran.
Yo.
Hey, Baran. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you if you and Tazo were talking.
No. Yeah, we were just talking, but it's fine.
Okay. I'm not Syntax. I'm not as great at these interviews as Syntax is, so these won't be super long, super complicated. First off, Monaco. How's it feel to be back in Monaco here in FRL? Of course, last season being called FRL, but, you know, FRL.
Yeah, it was chaos like always. And 2 seasons back, it was my first season in Split 2, and I had a podium here as well, so it feels good to have a podium again, but this time in Split 1, so I'm really happy for this one. But it was really difficult. It was like raining, and I had wing damage. I made a couple of mistakes. I didn't prepare for this race a lot, just today at 2 hours or something, so it was really difficult for me.
Well, you could have fooled me because it looked like you had prepared quite a bit. Very, very good run for both you and Graxon, your teammate, all the way through. Very competitive, very, very consistent as well, I noticed, for your runs. What's been kind of your season plan? Is it just kind of a consistency is key sort of thing? Is that what you run with, or what is it that you kind of look at for running through the races? And is there any sort of like team order between you and Graxon, or is it whoever's in the lead is who, you know, gets the priority?
I'm to be honest, I'm just focusing for him, you know, if to help him where I can and to let him win, to let him be champion, you know. But if I'm in front, we're just playing together, and we will see in every situation what's the best for the team, you know.
Right, makes sense. Last question for you, Baran, and I'm going to ask every driver this probably. Are you sad to see the name Foxxxes Racing League go at the end of the season, or are you excited for the new league name?
I'm excited for the new league. It looks, to be honest, very clean, and it's something fresh, you know, new start, new game, everything. So we will see, I think.
Absolutely. Well, good race today, Baran. Congratulations on the podium. Good to see you back on the podium at Monaco, and good luck to you and Graxon for the rest of the season.
Thank you, man. Have a great day.
You too.
You.
All right. So looking here, let's go ahead and pull up. He was P1 on track. However, penalties applied knocked him into P2. So let's go ahead and pull up Ignas. Hey Ignas, how are you?
Hello, I'm fine.
Like I just told Baran, I'm not as great at syntaxes at these interviews, so we'll keep it kind of short and sweet. Extremely dominating performance today, but in the end, it looks like penalties knocked you out of that top step. Kind of talk me through what happened and where those penalties came from, or why you had them.
So first 3 warnings came just because I was pushing us, you know, very much. And then one more warning came, like I cut the corner on purpose. So yeah, that's how I got 6 seconds. I think that, well, no, I didn't cut on purpose. I did it because the rain started and I didn't have any grip, so I had to avoid the wall. But I can try to cancel this, but I will keep Tazo the win. He deserved this.
Very kind of, there wasn't a lot of you on stream, but there wasn't a lot to talk about. Monaco seems to be one of those tracks that if you get it, you get it. You don't, you don't. So it seems like for this track, for you specifically, it was very just, you ran your own race, you zoned in, you had a lot of pace. Is that from a lot of practice, or is this just a track that fits your driving style?
I think it's both because I practiced and yeah, I like this track at the same time. So I think it's both.
Awesome. And then last question I'm going to ask you, and I asked Baran this, and I'll ask every driver this. Um, of course, Foxxxes Racing League, the name of the league is changing at the end of this season. Are you sad to see the name go? Are you excited for the new name? Kind of what are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited because like the new name sounds more serious. Like I think there will be way more people because it's more serious name. So I think that this change will make like good. I think it will make a good progress. I think we'll have way more drivers. I don't know. For me, in my opinion, it sounds more serious than Fox Racing. I'm not saying that it's a bad name right now, but it sounds more racing.
Right. I get what you're saying.
Yep.
Any final thoughts or anything about the race, Ignas?
Mm, well, I don't know. I'm just sad that I lost the win, but yeah, it was my mistakes. So yeah, congrats for Tazo.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Ignas.
Thank you. Bye.
See ya. All right. Last but not least, we pull in our race winner. Well, if I can drag him. There we go, Discord. Thanks for working. Tazo, how are you doing?
Hello, everybody. Hello, Brad.
Hello. So, Tazo, P2 for a majority of the race, just kind of cruising, running your own race, and then come out with a win due to penalties. How's it feel?
Yeah, that was loneliest race ever. Like 10 seconds ahead of me, 10 seconds behind of me. Practically no racing at all. But yeah, last laps was pretty intense.
Yeah,
And Ignas was pushing like hell.
Ignas was putting a lot of time in, really, really pushing forward. The rain seemed to just, unfortunately, kind of catch him off guard, from what I could tell just watching. But of course, I wasn't watching the front a lot. Most of the battle was in the midfield, surprisingly. So it seemed like, especially for the front runners, it was just a very relaxed race, and just kind of cruising through. So, I mean, pretty much the win just came down from staying clean, which, does Monaco suit you as a track? Is it one that you enjoy, or is this just kind of a bit of luck?
Monaco is one of my favorite track personally because it's very driver that make effort, that put accolades on this. But yeah, that was clean race. But I have some contacts with walls. I damaged my wing on few laps to go, but I stay in these 6 seconds that Ignas have, and it was win.
Absolutely. And last question for you, and I'm asking every driver this, and I probably will continue to ask it just through the end of the season. I know, of course, Tazo, you are on the admin team, so I know you had a hand in the decision. Foxxxes Racing League, as the name of the league goes at the end of the season, and the rebranding goes during the off season for F123. Are you sad to see the name Foxxxes Racing League go? Are you excited for the new name? Kind of give me your thoughts on the name change for the league.
In my opinion, new name is a new opportunity for the league to expand for new drivers, new community. I'm working pretty hard about these new changes. I'm preparing a lot of stuff. And yeah, pretty much that's it. I hope you all will enjoy it, these all changes.
I will say the little bit that I've gotten a sneak peek of, I've loved. So I'm really excited for the changes as well. And it's good to see that all of the work in the background on the admin stuff is not taking away from the on-track abilities. So congrats on the win, Tazo. Very, very good job today.
Thank you very much.
All right, and ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be the short, sweet version of Brad's not the best at doing post-race interviews. So this is going to be where we call the weekend for Monaco. We're officially into the dying stages of this season. We're over halfway through, and now what do we have left to go, you may be asking? Well, looking at our race calendar, we have Suzuka, Portimao, Montreal, Shanghai, Bahrain. That gets us to the 2nd of July. And then it's off season. And then it's rebranding. And then it's coming back and doing what FRL has always done. Even if it's under a different name, lots of things won't change. But hey, that's what we do here. On behalf of Syntex and Kenny, both who weren't here this weekend, my name is Brad. And this has been round 6 of FRL. And I'll see you this time next week. Syntax in the background goes, bye.
Bye.
And there we go. Thank you, Tazo. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be this round over. And it looks like Noda is going to be your winner of this Portuguese Grand Prix. Is your champion. JJ splits the middle, gets past both drivers.